Welcome to Passion for the Pastime, where baseball lives 24/7, 365. Catch conversations with beat writers, broadcasters, current and former players of all levels. Now here's your host,
Walter Balsetta. Whoops, I fumbled. I got to get out of here.
Walter Balsetta.
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Passion for the Pastime here on YouTube. We are here. We are live. I believe this is going to be the last show of the week. Won't be doing a show tomorrow, but we are here. Sorry, and my apologies to everybody that was reaching out. I'm good. Just had other things that I had to take care of last night, so we didn't do a show, but we are back here, 6 o'clock, as you guys well know. Passion for the Pastime. My name, Walter Balsetta. If you guys don't know me, I currently work at KMBR and have done a lot of shows regarding the Giants last year, and currently producing and on the board for Greg Papa and Greg Silver. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you guys are new here, welcome in, and remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to drop a comment, say hello in the chat. We're all friendly here. So yeah, if you're new here, welcome in. And if you're returning, why the hell are you here? No, I'm just kidding. Welcome back, everybody here. Mike Val, I saw Mike Val comment early. This dude checked in. He wanted to be the first one in the chat. 5:32. I wasn't even in the house at that time. So 5:32. Mike Val checking in. I see you in here. AJ Cruz, Danny Dunn, my guy Danny Dunn. Otis, what's up, everybody? Yeah, we have a fun show ready for you guys today, and I have my guy in the green room, Erik Engle, going to stop by and talk some baseball with me, and let's just bring him in now. I mean, he's what? You're coming up on an hour until you get showtime. No, what time do you go on with Locked On?
As soon as the game goes final, within 5 minutes of the game going final, we usually go live. Sometimes if it's the other night though, when the Warriors just got spanked by the Celtics by 40, really thought about going live just at the start of the fourth quarter, maybe I don't know. But yeah, usually within the first 5 minutes after.
You never knew you never know, they could have came back. You know what I mean? Like they could have stormed back.
This Warriors team really has what it takes to shoot their way back into games. I mean, they're just electric from 3-point. Oh my God, how mid is that team, man? It's just all Bay Area sports right now, just so mid. So mid.
Yeah, everybody's mid right now. But Erik Engle of Locked On Podcast Network, as you heard there, he's going to have a show later tonight, I assume, right? You're going to be talking about the Warriors' hopeful win over the Chicago Bulls tonight?
In a back end of a back-to-back without Steph Curry, without Draymond Green, without Jonathan Kuminga. At least you got Brandon Pajemski back tonight. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that sounds very enticing. But everybody, check out Erik on the podcast network on Locked On. He does a great job there, and he does post games for all the major sports in the Bay Area. He does it for the Warriors currently right now. He's going to get started on the Giants next couple months. So that's why we're rocking our Giants hats right now. And dude, we got to talk some ball, man. We're going to get into a lot of things. Bob Melvin was on KMBR earlier this week. I think it was on Wednesday. My days are all screwed up because of the holiday. I thought today was Friday. I legitimately thought
big Friday vibes, man.
Yeah, dude, today was major Friday vibes. So I forget what day of the week Bob Melvin was on KMBR, but he was on. He kind of gave a little insight into the roster, which, I mean, leads us to believe this is kind of it. This is all it's going to be, barring anything major that's going to happen. If anything were to come up, I guess if anything were to come up, it would be a shocker. Right now, we're kind of looking at the platoon system at first base. We're gonna have Yaz, a steady dose of Yaz in left field. But he talked about Bryce Eldridge, so I want to get all your ideas out here for the Giants team. I know this is the second time that you're on the podcast. I think you're the first time. First two-timer on Passion for the Pastime in the YouTube verse, in the YouTube verse. Era, in the YouTube era of Passion for the Pastime. But dude, let me get your thoughts real quick, because we came into the offseason, we were looking at this Giants team, this Giants regime with Buster Posey, and, it started off great with Willie Adames. They get Justin Verlander. I'll get your thoughts on that also, but it looks like this is it. I mean, is it a little bit of a underwhelming offseason for the Giants, or are you kind of content with the direction of the organization?
With some perspective, I'm okay with where the Giants are going in this offseason. I think that the Willie Adames signing was, it was the number one thing they needed to do. The rest of everything else, do we really expect the Giants to go and make like 3 huge signings in one offseason? I think that would just be, we talked about this last time, that would just be way too much to expect out of this organization from when we've seen, what we've seen in the past few years. Like, they don't go and like, the Giants have never been huge free agency spenders. Like, maybe they'll go and grab like a Barry Zito, when they did that when we were both, in high school and maybe, or was that junior high? I don't know. It's forever ago either way, but either way,
it was a long time ago, bro. Long time ago. Yeah.
Either way, like, we're having to dig that far back to talk about when Giants make major free agent signings. And obviously Barry Bonds, the greatest Giant arguably ever to ever play for the black and orange, like, he was a free agent as well. So, it's hard to get guys to come here in free agency. It's just been that way forever. So I think expecting that you were going to land Corbin Burns and Willie Adames was just a bit of a pipe dream. And if you were anticipating that they were going to get both of those guys and then go get Pete Alonso too, that's just setting yourself up to be disappointed. You know what I mean? So I do think that there is some room for them to still kind of improve this team in a meaningful way in this offseason. But I don't think that it's going to be, a Pete Alonso, or obviously it's not going to be based on what happened today. It's not going to be a Jurickson Profar. It's not going to be Anthony Santander as he just signed a deal within the last couple of days. So you start to look down at who's still available, and I see the same guy that we were connected to kind of since the middle of last season. And I know you're going to hate what I'm going to say, but you can have the BFF reunion. You can bring Ha-Seong Kim in and just to keep Jung-Hoo Lee happy. You know what I mean? Like, I just want my guy Jung-Hoo Lee to be happy. And bringing Ha-Seong Kim in, he'd fill a void. Like, you don't really want Casey Schmidt backing up every infield position for the whole season.
Right.
He could improve this team in meaningful ways.
Yeah, it's interesting to see who else is still out there, and mainly my takeaway from this offseason is it's gradual improvement, right? They've addressed a huge need, and I think that's something that the Giants hadn't done in previous off seasons. We've talked about it before, so they knew what it was, right? They knew what they needed to go get. That was a shortstop. Obviously, looking at Marco Luciano and seeing that he can't play the field, and whether or not he has a future on this team, that'll remain to be seen. But he's not going to be playing in the infield, and if he does, it'd be at first base. I don't even know if that process has been started with Marco Luciano, but they're trying to get him in the corner outfields, right? So that's potentially somewhere where Marco Luciano can go, but that was a big misstep, I guess, with the previous ownership, or not ownership, but previous front office with Farhan, is that they were still holding on to hope that Marco Luciano would be that guy. But now with Buster there, they've assessed, they saw what they needed, and they got it, right? They went out and got the best possible bat outside of Juan Soto, and it happened to be a shortstop. And whether there have been 2-3 other big bats available in free agency. You mentioned Anthony Santander, but I would say that Willie Adames is better offensively than Santander. But when you look at, regardless, if there was other guys available in the offseason with the bat, like a power bat, Willie Adames was going to be their guy because he fit all the needs that they needed going into the offseason and really building that left side of the infield strongly. You have Matt Chapman and now you have Willie Adames. So it's really interesting just to see that come into the fold, that they are now addressing what they need to do. And that gives me a little bit of hope for the Giants moving forward. Something that you mentioned there, though, with Casey Schmidt, is fascinating, right? Because Pat Burrell was on earlier this week and he was talking about what he sees with Casey Schmidt and he loves his bat speed, right? I mean, he loves his approach, his approach, right? Like they talk so highly of him to where, you just wonder if under this new regime, if the training wheels are going to get taken off and these young players are going to be allowed to be who they are and go about things differently. You just wonder how much that will play with their heads, like mentally, like confidence wise, right? So Casey Schmidt, again, I'm kind of with you. I don't want that to be the fallback plan. Like that's kind of good, to have a depth piece, sure, but if Tyler Fitzgerald doesn't pan out, if there's an injury, God forbid, to Matt Chapman or to Willie Adames, I mean, Casey Schmidt fits into all three of those positions, right? And I don't know if that's the biggest, if that's not an upgrade there. That's not an upgrade. It's depth, but bringing in someone like Hassan Kim, or I was even looking at Brandon Drury because he's out there in free agency as well. So it's like I'm trying to find a different bat. I know it's not the big, sexy Pete Alonso, Anthony Santander move, but it is something that kind of hedges your bets on some of these young guys, and most in particular to Tyler Fitzgerald, because we saw he was hot and he looked fantastic. I'm interested to see how he builds on that success from last year. But you got to always remember year two for a young guy, that's always the adjustment period. So it's gonna be rough. I think it's gonna be a little bit rough for Tyler Fitzgerald. Can he do it? I can see him doing it, but I do think it's going to be a little bit rough for the second year second baseman.
With Fitz on that topic, one thing that just really stood out, just glaring issue in his swing to me last year, which I think is going to be exploited pretty dramatically this coming year in 2025, is this guy could not hit outside pitching. I mean, just had the hardest time hitting anything that was on the outer third of the plate. It didn't matter, high, low, right over, belt high, does not matter. He could not do anything with it. Towards the end of the season, he did start, cueing some balls the other way, the other direction. But I mean, he's going to need to figure out how to hit the other way with some control, not necessarily with some power, because he's got enough pull power that I think that's fine. But he's got to be able to figure out how to stave off pitches on the outer half of the plate where he's going to have a really, really tough season this year.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to follow that. And not only him, but also, Elliot Ramos, right? Yep. I mean, we were seeing
a major issue hitting high fastballs.
Yeah, man. So, and that's the thing. The more at-bats that you get in Major League Baseball, the tape's out there now. And now teams know how to approach you. Teams know what your bugaboo is. They know what the hole in your swing is, right? I mean, remember all those years with Cody Bellinger where, he was fantastic during the regular season and he was making small adjustments. But then when it got to the postseason, dude, he couldn't hit anything because everyone knew exactly how to attack him. Obviously, postseason baseball versus regular season baseball is a completely different animal. But that's what baseball is a game of adjustments. So now, we kind of saw it last year was that they came in, they were hot as hell. Teams then adjusted to them, and then Elliot Ramos and Tyler Fitzgerald then adjusted back, and then teams adjusted back to that. And then they didn't have plate discipline, right?
Adjusting to the adjustments.
Yeah.
To the adjustments.
Adjusting to the adjustments, man. So it's going to be really interesting to follow those guys going into just another year of their maturation process, which is going to be huge. That's why Bob Melvin's here, and it's going to be interesting to see what Pat Burrell can do with the offense and with those bats, because something that was so glaringly obvious last year was that there wasn't a lot of adjustments being made, like situational baseball. And I just wonder if that is going to change in 2025, being that, the organization is being run a little bit differently by baseball people. I wonder if the non-adjustments was like an analytical approach, right? Like they're playing the numbers. A home run here is much better than getting on base or shortening up and hitting one into the gap. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see that. Just going to go to the YouTube chat real quick, Eric. EB checking in. My favorite 6 o'clock show. I'm not really sure how many 6 o'clock shows there are, but I will take it. I will take the compliment, EB. Appreciate you, man. Pat H, hopefully not off a torn ACL for Triple E. So no, he is I think he's as healthy as he can be, right? I mean,
I do have to
okay.
update my guy Pat. Last week I actually did sprain my AC joint while I was snowboarding, even though I wasn't really doing anything. And Danny Dunn, I see you've already put up the comment. My guy Danny Dunn, I did send him a selfie of me in the hospital bed saying, had to happen eventually. And also, I got the sprained fingers still from playing basketball at the rec a couple weeks ago. So it's about the same for Triple E.
That's the thing with Erik, is that I always look forward to like what your injury report is. You know what I mean? Like, what is your injury designation like coming into the show today?
I think I'm always like probable. You know what I mean?
Always probable.
Like we're bringing back the probable. I know the NFL got rid of probable a while ago.
I would say that you're usually questionable, but you always start. Like you always got that Q next to you in the injury report every single week. But you always come to play. You always come to play.
I'm always there.
Yeah, you always come to play. It doesn't matter. Never a doubtful. No. Erik won't be a doubtful. He's always
the only time I don't show up is when someone forces me. Like, I think one of the only days I missed at KMBR was when I actually had COVID and I was not allowed to come to work. But as our guy Pat H is mentioning in the chat, he remembers when I tore my MCL while producing for Murph and Mack, and I might have been in a wheelchair, but I was still at work.
Yeah, you were rolling around, dude. You have no idea how many times like I wanted to grab your chair and just like throw you down the hallway. Like that'd be hilarious.
Man.
Yeah, that'd be great. But we're talking with Erik Engle of the Locked On Podcast Network here, and Danny Dunn was checking in. Good to see Danny in here. Danny only shows up when you're here, Erik. So I don't know what that means, but
people love Triple E, Walt. You got to have me on the show every day. That's how you grow the engagement.
No,
that's how you grow the engagement, man.
No, once a month. I think I already had a dose of you every day for my life at one point. I think I'm good.
Your show is lacking cackles, and I bring the cackles. You know what I mean? You need a good cackle on the show.
We need a good cackle. We need a good cackle. Mike Val says that you're a gamer, bro. You're a gamer.
Hey, so that's the best compliment anyone can give.
That's high praise. So let's get back into the Giants, man. Hearing Bob Melvin talking about this roster, and I just kind of want to get into the first base conundrum, right? Because we were hopeful that there was going to be someone else. I know Papa was talking about having Paul Goldschmidt come in at one point, and I right now I would probably take that, but at the moment I was just like, I don't want Paul Goldschmidt.
I would take that just so the Giants don't ever have to play against him again. But
that too. I mean, God, Timmy's probably staying up at night thinking about that high fastball or just a fastball in general that he would throw to Paul Goldschmidt, and not having a stride, just taking him deep for 400 feet. But so Paul Goldschmidt, obviously he's with the Yankees, and all the other first basemen are out of the question. I mean, if you want to go Anthony Rizzo, is that something you want to do? Then you look at exactly. I say that sarcastically. But then now you look at, well, what do the Giants have? And I think it's going to be a combination, and what Bob Melvin has alluded to is Wilmer Flores, Lamont Wade Jr. Obviously, they're going to be in a platoon system. It's a perfect situation for both of them because they're both injury prone. So the least amount of time that you can have them out there, but maximize the time that they're there, I guess is the silver lining for the Giants and first base. But so you look at Wilmer Flores, you look at Lamont Wade Jr. I think that Gerard Encarnacion might fix into that platoon situation at some point, or maybe put him in at the DH. I don't know. They're gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, man. I mean, that's still a glaring hole for this Giants offense. I mean, how do you like the platoon system going into it? Like, do you think that Wilmer can kind of bounce back? I know he was hurt a lot last year, so you didn't really get a full dose or a full look at what Wilmer was, but he's a year older. So is Lamont Wade Jr. They always have injury issues. I mean, is that going to still be a constant battle for the Giants in 2025 at first base.
I absolutely think it will be. I mean, when's the last time either one of these guys like had a season where they didn't miss multiple months? Like not just a little bit of time. I'm talking like, missing the entire summer, like missing all of the dog days of baseball. Like it seems like every year, Wilmer, he was doing pretty well. What was it, 2 seasons ago? And then he had that injury, or he got hot at the end of the year because he had so many injuries in the beginning of the season. And it just took him, you only get each one of these guys for like a really finite portion of the season. I don't think that it's going to be enough between the two of them. I think you really need to get another guy in there. And whether or not this is where it gets so convoluted because the Giants have so many question marks and so many different pieces that you can move around. Like we talked about, Casey Schmidt can also play a little bit of first base. We've seen him play first base in the past. He can move over there. And then we obviously mentioned Marco Luciano, and if he can play first base, that obviously entirely depends on if he can develop a backhand, because if you're playing first base, you got to dig the ball out, usually with your backhand, and we have seen repeatedly that he can't do that with a ground ball, so why should he be able to do that with a throw across the diamond? I have a lot of questions about that. So in addition to all that, we also have David VR, who we haven't brought up, and this guy, I think, can still get some time at first base, and he is a really interesting one to me because he, I think, could be the guy when you talked about earlier in the show about kind of changing the players' mindsets with getting some like consistent playing time. David VR doesn't have very many options left. I don't think he has more. I think the Giants can maybe bring him up and send him down like 1 or 2 more times before they got to either sign him or outright him. And so I think that for David VR, that would help him a lot because we've seen him have some pop in that bat, especially at first base. And I mean, we saw him at third a couple years ago, pre-Matt Chapman, and he had some moments, man. Like we have seen, I always think of Brian Murphy and his just obsession with the David VR quote, thick lower half. And I mean, you look at the way the guy's built, and I mean, he got he got a caboose back there, and that's where you generate that power from, man. Like those thick legs, those thick thighs.
Hold on. Did you just say did you just refer to his ass as a caboose?
He got some junk in the trunk, man. He is ready to just use that butt power to like get the hips involved in that swing. And David VR has got some pop, man. I think that he is a very legitimate kind of option for the Giants to at least kick the tires on, at least as legitimate as anything else we're talking about, man. Like we're talking about, like we've mentioned 4 or 5 different names, and none of the names that we have mentioned are any better than the other. They're all kind of in the same,
they're all the same guy. They're all the same guy.
It's like it's like going to a buffet at Fresh Choice. You know what I mean? Like you have all these options, and they all give you a little bit something different. But at the end of the day, it's all kind of a little bit overcooked. It's kind of a little bit mushy. It's not really what you want, but it's there. It's gonna do the job. Like you're gonna leave, and you're not gonna be full anymore. So like it's kind of what the vibe I get from the Giants at first base. Like, is this gonna be the thing that determines the Giants season? Like, no, you'll have enough options that you'll be able to hopefully stay afloat, but are you going to be like happy about it at any point in time? Like, no, absolutely not. It's a Fresh Choice buffet at first base.
Yeah, you're going to eat, you're going to walk away with it feeling a little bit bloated, but full. But then at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, you might wake up and have to go use the facilities.
Have some second thoughts about what you just did earlier in the night. Yeah,
you're gonna have to go release some demons.
You got to really do that. Why are we doing this still? Like we tried this before and it didn't work, and here we are again doing the same thing. Yeah.
You got to go.
Giants to me.
You got to go release some demons at 2 a.m. That's what the Giants situation is at first base. But that brings us kind of to this next question, and I love that that Randy is in here. I believe Randy is new here to Passion for the Pastime, so welcome in, Randy. But talking about first base is it's a holding pattern. It's Wilmer and Lamont Wade Jr. Until Bryce Eldridge matures, right? It'll be Eldridge's spot once his bat is ready. Maybe 2026 if 2025 goes well for him in the minors. That's a really interesting point, because something that Bob Melvin did say in his interview with Murph and Marcus this week is that he was talking about there's no surprise as to why they didn't invest at that position, is because if they are kind of putting all of their eggs into one basket with Bryce Eldridge. And I mean, from what we've heard and his frame and his build and his swing and just how he's approaching everything, like scouts, the organization, they are high on this kid to where, you know, even if teams were calling for Bryce Eldridge, I think the Giants, and I think that this happened at the winter meetings, Giants were just like, no, that's a deal stopper. Like, we're not going to do that. So it's really interesting to see and to hear everything about Bryce Eldridge. Obviously last year, well documented that he went through the ranks of the minor leagues, that he went through San Jose, went to Eugene, went to Richmond, and then finished out the year in Sacramento. Now, I'm not saying that that Sacramento stint, I think that was solely so that he can get ABs and get a little bit of exposure, because it was at the end of the year and Richmond had already finished in AA. So then they were just like, no, let's keep it going. Let's have him
get some games. AAA keeps playing.
Let's have him get some games, because between AA and AAA, he's only played in 17 games, right? So to expect him to kind of come into camp, because he's a camp invite, I believe he's at Papago currently, so we're going to see him a little bit in spring training. But if you're expecting him to go in and perform at a high level at spring training and win a roster spot, I don't think that's the situation. But just looking at how Bob Melvin has talked about it and saying that the Giants didn't want to go in on a first baseman because of Bryce Eldridge, makes you think that maybe he's a little bit closer than we initially anticipated. Like, how do you feel about Bryce Eldridge going into this season? I think that he's going to start in AA. There's others that think that he's going to start in AAA, but I mean, it's a toss-up at this point. We don't really know where he's going to start. I guess maybe based on where his spring takes him, I guess. But what do you think about Bryce Eldridge going into spring training?
Well, first, I don't think that there's virtually anything he can do to win that job out of spring training. I think Bryce Eldridge could hit a home run in every single at-bat in spring training and still start the season in the minor leagues. I mean, he's just so green. But at the same time, we have seen how fast, the meteoric rise through the ranks in the minor leagues. And we have seen so many recent Giants, mostly pitchers, but we've seen a lot of guys kind of make that jump. And it makes sense why pitchers have been able to make this jump directly from AA to the bigs. And I'm not saying Bryce is going to do the same thing, but, we've heard for a long time that, for pitching, that AA is kind of like better for pitchers to get ready for the bigs than for AAA is, for various reasons, especially in the PCL being a really hitter-friendly league. In the minors, the Giants AAA, the league that their AAA affiliate is in. Yeah. And so you saw Erik Miller, for instance. He's the guy that I think who never even played a single AAA game in his life and came up immediately at the start of last year. And he had a rough month, but after that, first couple of weeks of the season, this guy, he was a very underrated part of this Giants team last year. Like, he was awesome out of the bullpen, and people didn't give that a whole lot of recognition. Hard to really recognize guys in the bullpen on a team like the Giants had last year. You know what I mean? But we've seen this before. The point I'm trying to get to is that the Giants have had some prospects really, rise meteorically through these ranks, and they haven't really stopped them from getting into the bigs. And I don't think that they're going to stop Bryce Eldridge either. And just as I said that I was absolutely sure that there's no way that he's going to win a job for the major league affiliate for the San Francisco Giants out of spring training, I also am just as sure that he's actually going to be in a Giants uniform, with the big league team before the end of 2025. I think we see him, maybe in September, maybe it's not till the very end of the season, but I think that we see this guy come up once you get the expanded rosters and all that at the end of the season. There's nothing to tell me that this guy's going to slow down. Why would you think that this guy is going to deviate from the path that he's been on? He is, if anything, since he got here, I remember when he was drafted and we had a big discussion behind the scenes at KMBR of is this just a two-way ploy thing to kind of lure Ohtani to, want to come to the organization because the organization's saying, hey, we like two-way guys all of a sudden because
it's back-to-back years, dude. Yep, they did Reggie Crawford and then Bryce Eldridge. It was all right, calm down.
All right. And this was the second guy that they were doing it for, so it was he's right out of high school. You had no idea what to expect with this guy. But then Oh my God, almost instantly you see the power. And like in rookie ball, he was mashing things. And like and you thought, okay, he's gonna slow down. And once he, starts actually playing real minor league games, like not in a rookie league, and he didn't slow down, he got better. And then in double A, he didn't slow down, he got better. And then in triple A, like the few games he was in there, he raked as well with Sacramento. Like this guy, every level he has played at, he has produced. And I don't expect him to slow down at all. Now, when he does get called up, is he going to take the job and it's just his and he's going to start every day? I don't think that's the case, but he will be in the mix, I think, very firmly by the end of this season. And I think 2026 opening day, he is penciled in as your everyday starter from here on out until he is no longer a San Francisco Giant.
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice, right? I mean, I would love, obviously, September, you take it, but I would love to see him even before that. Like, if we're talking July, you know what I mean? But realistically, looking at where he is, again, only 20 games at Double A or Triple A combined. I want to say it was 17 games, 9 in Double A, and I believe it was 8 in Sacramento. So he's going to have to get his reps in. He's going to have to put in the time, and I think that the best situation for him to start this year, obviously you get exposed to Major League camp and you're out there and you're working with the Major League coaches and maybe you're talking to Matt Chapman, you're talking to Willie Adama, like you're talking to some of these guys who are going to eventually be your teammate down the road. But my thought process is that you start him in Double A, right? Because we already know what the PCL is. The PCL is very hitter friendly, as you mentioned. So to have him in Triple A and have him, mash in Triple A isn't that impressive. I mean, it's impressive, but it's not that impressive, right? But then also you have to look at Double A in that Double A has the best arms in the farm systems, right? Like that is the cream of the crop type talent in the minor leagues is Double A baseball. So if he was to go down there and kind of work on his swing and build up his confidence a little bit there and put together a nice solid season, because again, it's going to be really interesting to see if he's banging on that door trying to get to the major leagues. I mean, Buster Posey said that ideally that he would have one full season in the minor leagues, but if he's tearing it up and he forces their hand, then they'd have no choice but to do that, right? So it's going to be something to watch. Like one of the, I think he was the only Giants player listed on the top 100 of prospects.
He was.
So yeah, I mean, all eyes are going to be on Bryce Eldridge.
67, something like that.
I think he was 67, 68, something around there. But it's going to be really interesting to follow along this year with Bryce Eldridge, but guaranteed, I'm not going to be going to Sacramento to watch the A's, but as soon as Bryce Eldridge gets called up to the Sacramento River Cats, dude, I'm going to be living at Sutter Health Park. Like,
you're going to get one of those double headers that they're inevitably going to have where the, one game plays one team plays the afternoon game and then they clear the stadium out and have the other team play the evening game. You'll be at the double header.
Dude, I don't know how the hell they're going to do that in Sacramento. Like, are they going to have day games? Are they going to have day games?
They're gonna have to.
How do you do that? Are they going to put like a canopy? What are the renovations? It's way too damn hot in Sacramento.
110 degrees on a turf.
Dude,
field?
nah, yeah, that's not going to work. Like
that sounds like some youth league baseball BS right there.
Dude.
Real quick, the Bryce Eldridge thing. You want to know what his numbers were in Double A last year? He played between Double A and Triple A. He played 17 games, but in Double A. He played 9 games in Double A, batted .270 with a .460 slugging. He had a home run, a triple, 2 doubles in his 10 hits. So if you're counting, that's 4 extra base hits of his 10 total base hits that he had. I mean,
it's solid.
This guy's awesome. This guy is he did have 2 ground into double plays. So I mean, if you're looking for a negative, there's your negative. But OPS of 785, like you'll take that for a guy playing his first 9 games in as you said, the minor league division with the toughest pitching. And I have no reason to believe that this guy's gonna, slow down at all. Like, you look at his minor league stats as a whole, he's batting .292 in his
Yeah.
minor league career. Like this guy's 20 years old. Is he even 20 yet? 19 years old. I mean, this is just, completely insane. Yeah, he's 19 years old, born October 20th, 2004. No, we're old.
Wait, you say he was born in 2004?
2004.
Dude, oh my God. I think I was in 5th grade in 2004,
I remember
right?
2004. That makes
Yeah,
me feel
dude.
old.
I remember that well. That was a great year. Who won the World Series in 2004, Eric?
Was
you
that
remember?
Was that the Boston Red Sox?
That was the Boston
Shout
Red
out,
Sox.
Shout out my guy,
Marcus.
Shout out my guy Marcus Boucher.
Yeah, dude.
For the longest time, I had this grand plan, and I never got to do it because I was going to do it the Christmas right before I got laid off at KNBR. But I had this really old Boston Red Sox 2004 World Series champions like Santa hat. And I was going to wear it every day during Christmas for Marcus. But I think he probably would have legitimately hit me if I did that. So
he probably would have. 100%. 100%. He probably would have drop kicked you. I don't know. You know what? I wish you did. I wish I would have that image ingrained in my brain. But we're talking with Erik Engle here of the Locked On Podcast Network. You can check out all his stuff for post games, or the postcast rather is what it's called. And he has one tonight after the Warriors play the Bulls. Hopefully they get a dub. I don't know, probably unlikely, but we'll have to see. I'm gonna go back out to the.
I did see an update in the chat. I mentioned it earlier that I did not think Steph was going to play. Apparently, he's going to play. I don't know. Steph was able to convince the coaches to let him play in the back end of the back-to-back. But
look at you. You gotta do a little bit of research, Eric. I'm taking away your research time.
Do your research, man.
How funny! You thought he was gonna not play, and then we get off the podcast. You turn on the Warriors, and you're like, "Oh, Steph's playing." Yeah, that would be a nice surprise. But let's go out to the YouTube chat real quick. We got EB talking about the double headers in Sacramento. You know what? I didn't even think about that being a possibility. I might want to see that in the summer one time. Like I'll just take off and go see a doubleheader. I don't know. I'm kind of, I don't want to support the A's, but I do kind of like the thought of seeing Aaron Judge in Sacramento.
You like the thought of seeing two minor league baseball teams in one day at the same stadium wearing different jerseys is what you like.
I think the River Cats might actually might beat the A's, to be honest. But the burning question that we all have about that doubleheader: will they have enough beer for a doubleheader? That's a hell of a question. I don't know.
Important question to know.
I don't know. It depends if me, you, and Marcus are out there at the ballpark. They probably will run out of beer by the second game.
It also depends on how much they're going to charge. I mean, the Dodger Stadium charging like $30 a beer this year to afford all these damn free agents they're signing. But I have a feeling that maybe you might get. I mean, I would be very upset if I was going out to Sacramento seeing $30 beers. So I'm hoping that it's
you're not going to get a
$30 beer. It means it's going to be cheaper, which means that it is a higher probability that they will run out of beer, which is a very real problem. There's no way to tolerate 110-degree summer days in Sacramento without an excess of beer.
Well, if you're worried about running out of beer, I will just suggest pregame. It's cheaper. Let's just do that.
Good point.
Pregame at 9 in the morning for a doubleheader. Otis Bird in the chat. He graduated in 2004, so we thought we were old. Otis, hell yeah, dude.
I need that.
Respect. You know what? My sister graduated, I think, in 03, I believe. I think my oldest sister graduated in 03, so doing the math. What's up, Otis? Good to see you in here. Everybody's trying to do the math on Otis, how old he is. But all right. So let's get you one more question here, and then I want to do a fun exercise that we were talking about all day regarding the Hall of Fame, and it's gonna be quick. We'll get through that. But one more question on the Giants, and we've been talking so much about the offense, and I think that is a glaring need for this team, and a lot of question marks as far as how they're going to generate enough runs. But one thing that can help that, and it's funny because Pat Burrell, when he was asked, well, how will the Giants be able to score enough runs? And he said, pitch. So let's look to the pitching, the pitching for the Giants, because that is the bread and butter, right? That's the formula for winning, especially at Oracle Park / AT&T Park / Pac Bell Park, whatever ballpark you want to call it, the iteration of it. The bread and butter has always been pitching and defense. They have the defense there on the left side of the field. I think the defense in the outfield is going to be much improved, especially if you get one full season of Jung-Hoo Lee. First base is going to be, but you got the Gold Glove catcher in Patrick Bailey back there as well, and you have Tyler Fitzgerald, which I think he's not a slouch with the glove. He's not a Gold Glover, but he's not going to be terrible, I think, at second base as he was in shortstop. So with all that being put aside, you got to look to the pitching, and there's a lot of young guys on this team, but you have a veteran in Justin Verlander coming in here to kind of see what he can do. I mean, we're optimistic. Maybe if he can get over 120 innings, maybe he can get more than that. I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But you got the mix of Logan Webb, you got Robbie Ray, Justin Verlander, and then it's kind of everyone else. I mean, I know that we're talking about Kyle Harrison, that he could have a bounce back year. So maybe he's the 4. And then that 5 spot, I mean, it's going to be a rotation of Jordan Hicks, of Hayden Birdsong, of Mason Black, Tristan Beck, you name it. Anybody that can get into Keaton Wynn.
Everybody's favorite pitcher for the Giants.
Yeah, dude, Keaton Wynn. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that pitching staff is formulated, but it sounds like they're going to have a competition for that 5th and final spot, because you figure, I mean, the 4 is going to be the 3 that I named, the Robbie Ray, Logan Webb, Verlander, and then your 4 is going to be Kyle Harrison, right? So who do you think has the edge, I guess, going into the season, or going into spring training with pitchers and catchers reporting on February 12th? Who do you think has the edge to get that final pitching rotation spot, or is it kind of going to be a mix and match all season long?
I think it'll be a little bit of mix and match all season long, but I think the one guy you're going to see get probably the most run is Hayden Birdsong, and it's just because of the way that he pitched kind of towards the end of September. Because I mean, when he came up, I mean, he was electric. He had that 12 strikeout game. I mean, he just looked unhittable, like a 98-mile-an-hour fastball with a devastating 12-6 curve that just wiped off the table. I mean, dude, looked unhittable his first couple starts. And then you started to realize, that was against the Rockies, wasn't it? And then he, got into the month of August, and it's hot, and he started playing some real teams, and he was in some, really muggy situations where you could tell like he was out there sweating, struggling to find a grip on the ball. And he had to kind of figure out a way to adjust to those moments. And towards the end of the season, I think he started to kind of, we were talking about adjusting to the adjustments earlier for the young guys, that being a big thing. I kind of saw him start to make adjustments to the adjustments towards the end of the season. He stopped trying to hit that like 98, 99 mile an hour mark with the fastball, took a couple MPHs off, and started really working on his location instead of just being up there throwing the ball. And I talked about this on my show a lot last year. We started to see Hayden Birdsong start to pitch with his brain a little bit more than his arm. I think he started to make that shift into pitcher instead of thrower. And going, you brought up Verlander. I don't think really the impact of Justin Verlander is not going to be measured in how many innings he pitches this year for the San Francisco Giants. Absolutely not. I think back to it feels very, very similar to Randy Johnson. And I know everyone has said this already, but Randy Johnson's impact on the careers, not just the season that the Giants have, but the careers of a Tim Lincecum, of a Matt Cain, of a Madison Bumgarner. I mean, Randy's impact on them was immeasurable, like just completely. Something I think that gets kind of lost in like the lore of the 2010s Giants runs in World Series championships is kind of the mentorship that they had with that team, with the older generation of players, kind of coaching up the younger guys. And he was one of the main pieces of that puzzle. Excuse me. And I think that Verlander can absolutely be that guy for these younger pitchers. And I really do think Birdsong is poised to step up the most. With a caveat, I do think we're going to see a ton of Jordan Hicks as well. But I think it's going to be, you're going to use Birdsong to keep Hicks fresh. And as much as they can use Birdsong to keep Hicks's innings down, because that's going to be a thing that they focus on a lot this year. And we saw him gas out entirely around midseason. As soon as he passed his career high in innings pitched, it seemed like he just fell off the table. So they're really going to have to work with him on that. He's got one more year of kind of building up that endurance and all that. So I do expect him to be able to eat a few more innings this year. But I also think the Giants are going to be much more conscientious about when those innings come. And I do think that we're going to see a lot of Birdsong in the beginning of the year and maybe more Hicks at the end of the year, depending on how Birdsong pans out over the first couple months. It also gives you the option to like let him pitch every fifth day and kind of see how he functions in that role as like an everyday starter or a traditional starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, knowing that you have a somewhat of a backup plan in Jordan Hicks. And you don't have a ton of wiggle room there, but you have other options. And obviously the Mason Blacks, the Keaton Wins, are we ever going to see Carson Wisenhunt? Is he ever going to put on a Giants big league uniform? I mean, maybe we see more from Reggie Crawford this year. Like he's going to be on the back end of the bullpen guy, but they have so many arms just waiting right on that cusp that can make an impact on this team, or maybe not. I also do think that I want to see more from Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison's kind of like the big question mark to me because he's got the stuff, he's got the fastball, but going back to what we were just talking about with Hayden Birdsong is Birdsong kind of was showing us the transition from thrower to pitcher. I have not seen Kyle Harrison make that jump at all. Like this guy goes up there and just chucks that fastball whenever he wants to with seemingly like reckless abandon, like has no real, like just feels like he's going to blow guys away with it. And sometimes you can do that. Like he's talented enough that, he can get away with that sometimes. He's got to find a second pitch. He's got to find a second pitch that he can throw consistently, and he's got to work on that accuracy. He's just all over the place at this point.
It's because of that mentality though that you just illustrated there is why I'm much higher on Hayden Birdsong, because he gets it.
Same.
You know what I mean?
Same.
And not to say that Kyle Harrison doesn't get it or doesn't understand that aspect, but he hasn't grasped the concept of being a pitcher. He's trying to be a thrower, and that's all good and dandy. Like when you were, when you're a Tim Lincecum, when you're, dialing up high velocity, but it's not good when you're low 90s to high 80s. You know what I mean? And that's what happened to him last year.
Yeah, we saw it dip significantly last year.
So that's a big question for me as far as when you look to the rotation is Kyle Harrison. That's the biggest question. I think the biggest X factor though, I think it is Jordan Hicks, because dude, we saw how electric he was at the start of his career. And I was like, dude, I was like low key getting Timmy vibes when he was on the mound. Like he was electric on the mound in his first 9 starts. Like he had like a ERA of like below 150 or something like that. It was crazy, man. Like 1.5.
That splitter that he developed was, unhittable the first half of the season. Yeah. And then as soon as we got into the summertime, it stopped working. The splitter stopped splitting, and it just started hanging there when he'd throw it. But the beginning of the season, I think I think opponents were hitting like below 100, like batting average sub 100 against that pitch for like the first 2 or 3 months of the season. It was unreal. And when you look at the overlays of like his 4-seamer compared to the splitter compared to the slider, it was just like, I don't even know how you you're just up there guessing, man. He was baffling. Like I'm at a loss for words of how to describe it, because he was that baffling on the mound, man. Like he was so good. So I do agree with you in both of those assessments. And I think that Harrison stands to gain the most from having a guy like Verlander in the organization, because if nothing else, he's going to kind of impart that wisdom on how to become a thrower, not just a pitcher, or how to become a pitcher, not just a thrower, excuse me. And I think that Harrison is the one who absolutely needs to hear it the most.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and let's see if Verlander can put together some happy memories at Third and King. We'll definitely have to follow that along in 2025. But all right, dude. So it's about that time. We're gonna wrap up here in the next 10 minutes. But something that we were talking about the Hall of Fame, right? Ichiro didn't get in unanimously. You could be mad or whatever. I'm upset too. But I think that's a conversation for another day, or on your way out, you can give me your gripe. But let's just get through to this next part where we're gonna look at the Hall of Famers, right? He is a Hall of Famer, and what I wanted to do here is look to the Hall of Fame class. Or not the Hall of Fame class, but I want to look to the Hall of Famers, right? And go out there and and draft our own team. So what we're going to do here is that I've compiled a list of 20 Hall of Famers, most recently from the years that we were born. So there's a tier of, like, I call it golden, like, old timers, right? Golden old timers. That's gonna be the top tier of the guys that played in the game that was before our time, right? But we know that they're living legends. And then so I did 20 pitchers and 20 players, and what we're going to do is we're going to develop a lineup of 9 guys. So 18 people of the 20 are going to get drafted. And what we're going to do with the pitchers is we're going to have a starting rotation of 5 guys, right? So the dollar amount, I think I sent you $40, but should we go to $45? How much should we go?
It's up to you. We can do 45. That's
all right,
fine.
let's go 45 just to give us a little bit of wiggle room. And this would help if I had a pen. So I don't have one with me. So I'm just gonna have to do math on the fly, bro. So
I will check your work, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. So let me go ahead and pull this up and let's show everybody the candidates here. So just to run it through, what we're gonna do is it's gonna be a snake draft. This is the player side of it. Let me get rid of. You can't see Ricky Henderson there in the top corner. So let me get rid of that.
Ricky don't like the logo. Get that logo out of here. Ricky don't like that logo.
Yeah, Ricky don't like that logo. All right, so you can see here, follow along from left to right. You got Hank Aaron, you got Willie Mays, you got Roberto Clemente, and Ricky Henderson. That's the $6 players. $5 is recent inductee. Ichiro, you got Tony Gwynn, you got Derek Jeter, and Ken Griffey Jr., right? So that's the $5 guys. $4, you got David Ortiz, Pudge Rodriguez, Cal Ripken Jr., Jim Thome, if you can't see who that is, but that's Jim Thome, for $4. $3, you got Mike Piazza, Chipper Jones, Adrian Beltre with that hilarious pose of his photo. And then you got Miguel Cabrera at $3 as well. And then $2, you got Mike Trout, and these are obviously with Miguel Cabrera, but he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. The last row are guys that are potentially going to get into the Hall of Fame. I think it's a fair assessment. I think the only biggest question mark is Buster Posey right there in that second column. But Mike Trout, Buster Posey, Albert Pujols, who I think he gets voted in or is eligible in 2027. And then you got Shohei Ohtani. Those are the players that we're going to. And yes, Tacky asked the question that you asked, Eric. Where's Barry? And look, I think that I think Buster Posey might have a better chance of getting into the Hall than Barry Bonds. That's just my opinion. That's not how I feel about Barry.
It's a fact.
It's a fact. And you know, that's not to say how I feel about Barry Bonds. That is just that's just the reality of things, right? So let's go to the pitchers now, and we address that. Thank you, Tacky, for chiming in, and thank you for coming back, Tacky. I think Tacky left earlier. He always leaves and has his dinner, and then I think he came back. Tacky, let me know in the comments what you had for dinner. So then now the pitchers is the top tier is the $5 guys. You got Pedro Martinez, you got Nolan Ryan, Juan Marichal, Bob Gibson. Number 4, you have Sandy Koufax, Steve Carlton, Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux. The $3 guys, you have Don Sutton, you have Tom Glavine, Jim Palmer, and Tom Seifert. Number $2, you got Justin Verlander, new San Francisco Giant. Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw, CC Sabathia, new inductee, and Max Scherzer with that look on his face. And then the $1, you got John Schmaltz, Zach Greinke, which is, I think, an interesting conversation point. I think that he's a Hall of Famer when it comes said and done.
I think he gets in too.
I think he gets in, and then you know what? I panicked and put King Felix in there. I don't know if he's gonna get into the Hall of Fame, but I can hope. I felt like when I was watching him pitch, I felt like I was watching a Hall of Famer, but he just doesn't have the track record and the postseason success and everything like that. And
success.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. If he was on the Yankees, he'd be first ballot.
Yep.
And then Roy Halladay skipped over him, but he's right under CC Sabathia. So that's our team. That's our pool to pick from. And what we'll do is we'll do a snake draft. So you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You can go first. I'll let you go first.
All right, so I have the first overall pick, and I am probably going to go to the pitcher, the player side of
exactly
things.
Who you're picking.
Oh, you know who I'm going. Yeah, third column, top third column.
Yep.
Yeah, you know
Not
me.
a question.
I'm going to go with my guy Roberto Clemente. That's going to be my $6 player. Say what you all think, or just give me shit for making that pick. There's a lot of great players on here, but I'm gonna go with Roberto Clemente. That's gonna be my first round pick. So that's my guy. Who you got, Eric?
Well, I gotta go with Willie Mays. There's no other pick to make here other than Willie Mays. I mean, Willie is Willie. To say, hey kid, are you kidding me? We just spent the entire last season just reminiscing on this guy from a Giants fan perspective, and obviously we're going Willie Mays. I don't even need to explain this pick.
Oh yeah, you gotta go Willie Mays for sure. So Roberto Clemente, Willie Mays off the board. What's your number 2 pick?
I think for my number 2 pick, I gotta go. I was thinking about going 2 bats in a row.
Yeah.
But I think I gotta go pitching here, and I think I gotta go Bob Gibson. This guy might be the all-time greatest pitcher in my opinion, because they literally had to lower the mound because this guy was so dominant.
I know, man.
Talk about players who changed the game. Like, this guy is like Steph Curry to baseball. Like, just if the NBA ever decides to move the 3-point line back, you can blame Stephen Curry specifically for that thing. And it's the same thing with Bob Gibson. Most dominant season ever, in my opinion, by a pitcher of all time. Like, Bob Gibson takes the game.
Yeah, Bob Gibson. I mean, yeah, they lowered the mound because this guy was just too nasty on the mound. Someone else who's nasty on the mound. I think I'm gonna go pitcher, and I'm gonna go with my guy that I grew up watching for most of my my young life. I'm gonna go with Pedro. I'm gonna go with Pedro Martinez. Nice. For my pitcher, just to counter that's our game 1 in the World Series, dude. That's Bob Gibson versus Pedro Martinez.
Hell of a
Holy
game,
crap,
man.
dude! Yeah, they're both gonna go like 10 innings.
Yeah, Pedro, big game Pedro. There might be. I mean, if you had to pick one guy for like the single biggest game, we just talked about the 2004 Boston Red Sox earlier on this show. Of course, you can't have that story without Pedro Martinez.
No, yeah, you got to go Pedro Martinez, man. So that's what I'm going with. So I got Pedro and I got Roberto. I'm gonna go back to my my hitters here. I'm gonna go ahead and see your Bob Gibson and raise you the home run champ, not Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron. I'm gonna go Hank Aaron, get my number 6 out the way again. So I think I'm at $17 spent already. Is that correct, Eric?
You have $28 remaining.
$28 remaining. Okay,
correct.
so
yeah, $17.
Yeah, so 17. All right,
so.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, so I'm gonna go with Hank Aaron, dude. I gotta combat that Bob Gibson on the hill.
Where's Hank playing for you? Is he in left or is he in right?
Well, see, so here's the situation: is that you can clearly see there's not a lot of guys here at second base. There's not a lot of lot of parity there. I actually don't think that I have a second baseman.
Tough finding a second baseman in the Hall of Fame that's worth stacking up against.
No, yeah, dude. So I didn't do it. So I mean, right now I'm gonna go Roberto in right, and I'm gonna go Hank in I'll put Hank in left. That's my guy. Yeah.
All right. Well then, I need to I think keep going with the outfielders, and I'm going with the guy that I also watched for a lot of my childhood and was completely enamored with. And if he had stayed healthy, he might be the current home run king, Ken Griffey Jr. I love Griffey. I have like 3 or 4 different like Ken Griffey specific like memorabilia items just because I love Ken Griffey Jr. so much. And you look at his injuries and his career averages, this guy could have hit over 800 career home runs if he just stayed healthy. In my opinion, the most beautiful pure swing of all time. Any player, Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, I like that pick. I definitely like that pick. So a lot of the number 6s are gone. We got one number 5 in the pitcher or in the hitters realm. So you went Ken Griffey, right? So now you have another pick.
I do have another pick, and I mean, this one I kind of went back and forth on a bunch, but I'm gonna go all the way down to a value pick here on this one, just because I'm afraid that he's gonna go soon. And I mean, if you know the lore of Triple E, you know that I love me the Dominican Republic and anything from the Dominican Republic, the Platino power,
Yeah.
baby.
Yep.
Give me Albert Pujols. This guy, I mean, you want to talk about a guy
Yeah,
who
man.
might be another unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer coming up, the machine, Albert Pujols. How, by the way, shout out the old Sports Center commercials with Albert Pujols being constantly referred to as the machine, and all
yeah,
the
dude.
different Sports Center commercials that came around because of that. Those were always my favorite as a kid growing up, and it would make me genuinely laugh, like chuckle out loud, like belly laugh every time I saw it. So Albert Pujols, one for comedic effect, and two because he's Albert Pujols, man. We're just gonna forget that year that he was a Dodger.
Yeah, dude. Actually, no, we can't forget that because that gave us one of the most memorable moments of that season with Mike Tauchman robbing the homer of Albert Pujols. What a moment, man!
Career home run 600, and Mike Tauchman said, "Not today."
He said, "Nope, not on my watch." But yeah, dude, that's a great pick. That's a great value pick too. And notice how I put these guys at 2 because I'm like, dude, $2, that's a steal because originally it was going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm like, I'm not going to put Albert Pujols worth $1.
No.
Like, I can't do that. Like, what the hell? All right. So let's, so it's my pick now. I'm gonna take this guy. What's my dollar amount at, Eric?
You have $28 left.
I'm at $28 left. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Ricky Henderson. I'm gonna go with Ricky Henderson to round out my outfield. I have a golden outfield of from left to right. I got Hank Aaron, Ricky Henderson, and now Roberto Clemente. That's gonna be my outfield there. So I'm gonna go Ricky Henderson with the 6. So now I'm at $22.
Correct.
Ooh, oh man, $22. That's that is pushing.
Your outfield's done, and you got Pedro.
My outfield is done, and now I'm gonna go back to the pitchers. 20. I have how many dollars? $22. $22. All right, so from $22, I'm gonna go with a little bit of a value pick here. I'm gonna go with Justin Verlander. I think Justin Verlander is one of the is the best pitcher that I've ever watched pitch. Like from start to finish, like his beginning of career to the end. I think Justin Verlander is my guy. So I'm gonna go with Tacky. Thank you. Someone give Walter a damn calculator. Look, Tacky, I don't have a pen, so I didn't properly prepare for this segment apparently. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Justin Verlander. Walter already took off his shoes. Oh, you guys are incredible. Mexican American Dream. AJ's in here twice, or is that a second? Is there 2? What the hell's going on? What's going on in here? All right, so I'm gonna go Verlander. So that's my value pick. So now I'm at $20 for the rest of my picks.
Correct. You're at 20.
All right, so I have 2 pitchers and I have $20 left. All right, now it is you, my friend.
So we already got Bob Gibson, the absolutely dominant. No, you can keep the pitchers up over there.
All right, I'll
stay with the pitchers here. I'm lacking some pitching right now, so I gotta go. Even though he's a Dodger, Sandy Koufax. I mean, this guy. You want to talk about dominant pitchers from back in the day? These might be the 2 greatest. I'm surprised we had Koufax as a 4, and I know why you did it because. Juan Marichal for Sandy Koufax. And I know that Juan Marichal was amazing, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it pains me to say this, man, but Sandy Koufax is the better pitcher. And even though he was a Dodger, I'm going with $4 Sandy Koufax. And I'm really liking my roster right now. I got to tell you, Walt, I'm thinking that my team is going to end up being the better team in this one. But
yeah, damn, you got Sandy and Bob Gibson.
It's going to be tough. So
yeah,
let's now go back over to the hitters because now I got my 2 pitchers. I got to finish rounding out some of my field and some of my players in the field. And I think for the next pick, I think that we got to stay kind of in the value range. We're going to go Miguel Cabrera. I mean,
damn it.
This guy just has so much raw power.
Son of a bitch.
You were talking about like maybe the greatest pitcher that you saw in like start to finish career in your lifetime. Well, greatest hitter that I might have ever seen in my like start to finish lifetime. Probably, I mean, because I didn't see all of Barry Bonds' career, but I think it's either got to be Miguel Cabrera or the other guy who's been floating around out here too in Albert Pujols that's already on my team. So I mean, I got the two greatest hitters that I've seen their entire careers of in my lifetime. I'm liking my team, man. I'm liking my team, Walt.
Yeah, your team's looking a little good. It's looking, I'm a little nervous there. All right, so who do you? It's my pick, right?
Your pick.
All right, let's figure this out. Let's see what else I can do here.
You have $20 left.
I have $20. All right, so I'm definitely gonna have to go value. I'm just trying to figure out which way to go right now. I'm just gonna pull up some stats really quick. Let's see here. I'm trying to pull up freaking Adrian Beltre. So I'm going third base because I was gonna go Miggy and you stole him from me. So I am gonna go third base, but I just gotta see the comparison between Beltre and Chipper because I know Chipper was incredible, but I feel like Beltre would give me a little bit more pop than Chipper did. So I'm just trying to
Platino power, baby.
What's up?
That Platino power, man. I'm telling you.
You know what? I'm just gonna go Adrian Beltre. I'm gonna go Adrian Beltre just for that comment because my phone it's not loading right now. So I'm gonna go with Adrian Beltre number $3, and I'm going to follow that up with, I guess, where would I put Shohei? I guess it'll be my DH. I'll take
still too.
I'll take yeah, I can put him at first base too. Has he played first base?
No, but I mean he's Otani. He can
play anywhere. I'll put him at second base.
Shortstop, and
I'll put him at second base too.
Still.
Let's see here. Oh wow, yeah. Look at dude. These numbers are incredible. So the higher WAR is Adrian Beltre. Plate appearances more than 2,000 plate appearances for Adrian Beltre to Chipper. Home runs, it's only a difference of 11. Oh no, I'm sorry, only 9. Sorry, I can't math.
Oh wow.
477 to 468 in favor of Beltre. And then the RBIs is under 100, so it's right there. Batting average though, Chipper gets on base, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like he gets on base. He pretty much wins in all the other categories: stolen bases, batting average, slugging percentage.
I'm picking Chipper Jones personally.
Oh yeah, dude, Chipper Jones. Wow, but 5 Gold Gloves to Adrian Beltre. So
yeah, it's not like Beltre was bad. It's just
none for Chipper. None for Chipper. No Gold Gloves for Chipper.
Oh my God.
He did not win a Gold Glove. He won an MVP, but did not win a Gold Glove. So I'm happy. I'm happy with my pick. I'm going with Adrian Beltre. I'm going with Adrian Beltre on that one. And Shohei Otani. Now it's back to you, my friend. What else you got?
Let's just recap everyone with where we're at right now.
Yes. Let everyone know where we are.
This is where Walter's team stands. Roberto Clemente, Hank Aaron, Ricky Henderson. That's
solid.
The outfield. And then you got Adrian Beltre and Shohei Otani at the corners. Pitchers, You got Pedro Martinez and Justin Verlander. Walter's got $15 left to round out his team.
I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if I can. I might need to defer some of this money.
Yeah, I was going to say, might need to make some deferred payment. Oh man! And then my team is I'm have one less player than Walter because I haven't made my pick for this round yet. But Willie Mays, center field. Ken Griffey Jr. and right. Bob Gibson and Sandy Koufax as my pitchers, and I got Pujols and Cabrera at the corners. I also
God, that sounds disgusting.
$20 left in my bank.
All right, go ahead, make your pick. You going players or you going pitchers?
I'm gonna go player here, and you know this is where we're gonna talk about recent news. I'm going with Ichiro Suzuki because this guy.
Hell yeah.
First of all, where is a baseball gonna fall in this outfield between Ichiro and Willie Mays and Ken Griffey Jr.? I'm gonna tell you where it's not. So good luck because it's not going over the fence either with Bob Gibson and Sandy Koufax on the mound. So. Yeah. I don't know where your hits are coming from. Maybe you can bunt because Pujols and Miggy are pretty, mobilely challenged at
Dude,
the corner. So
Ricky
maybe-
is going to
maybe
eat those
Ricky is
fat
gonna-
dudes alive. He's going to eat those fat. You remember what the strategy was for the 2012 World Series? Make the fat guys move. That's what Ricky Henderson's going to do for you guys.
This is true. This is true. But the one thing I will say with Ichiro, kind of the same thing we were saying about Shohei. I would trust if Ichiro Suzuki showed up to the field and told me, I want to play shortstop today. I'm letting him play shortstop, and I'm not going to ask any questions. This guy seems like he could just walk into any major league clubhouse right now at age 50 plus and still probably be the best defensive player at any position on the field, not just in the outfield, but like this guy, just incredible. If you've ever watched his warm-up routine, it's kind of weird to watch a baseball player warm-up routine, but like if you watch Ichiro's warm-up routine, it's a little bit Steph Curry-esque. Like he does some stuff that you won't see any other player be able to do. So I'm going Ichiro. Plus, now I got my leadoff hitter setting the table. Ichiro going to get on base every single time, just like Ricky Henderson will. Although I'm not going to say that Ichiro is going to be able to steal bases like Ricky. Nobody steals bases like Ricky.
No, sir. We won't have to get hits because Ricky's just going to run the bases just wild.
He's going to bunt, and he's going to end up on third before the end of the next at-bat. So we are now sitting tied, equal at $15 apiece with the same number of players drafted. So
all right,
going on to my next pick, I think I'm going to have to continue to search for some value here. And I'm going to go with I got to go with a hometown guy. I got too many Dodgers on my team. I got to round this out. We're going Buster Posey.
Damn it.
Any staff needs to have the captain at the helm to command that staff. And that's what Buster Posey brings to the table. You can look at all the numbers and all that. You can throw out whatever number you want to about all the career accolades Buster's had. But the most impressive thing is something immeasurable with him. And that is the ability to call a game and command a pitching staff. And Buster Posey, there might be only one other player that I've seen in my lifetime who compares to him, and that is Yadier Molina. And I mean, I got to go Buster.
You know, it's so funny because I started reading the comments and then I started talking about, oh, dude, I'm going to run crazy on you. And I'm like, oh, shit, if he gets a catcher, that can drastically change the course of my drafting. And then Mike Val goes into the chat. I don't know if you saw this prior to your pick. Does Walter have enough money to finish his team? Eric, if you draft some cheap guys now, Walter will have to forfeit. Like I said, I'm just going to defer money to 2030. That's what we're going to do. We'll figure it out. But all right, so you got your catcher. I guess I'll have to get my catcher. Well, let's see what else we got. Let me go back into the pitchers because I have Pedro, I have Justin Verlander, but I think I have to counter you with Bob Gibson with that flamethrower. So I think I'm gonna go with the lefty. I think I'm gonna go with Randy Johnson.
Yeah, man. The big unit.
Yeah, I'm going with the big unit. So let's see. If
Walter's
team was an ass, I'd offer to buy into it. Thank you, Tacky.
Former pitcher turned wildlife photographer this world has ever known, Randy Johnson.
Dude, what a second career. What in the world, man?
This NFL games too. I mean, this guy's wild.
It's crazy. Can you imagine seeing him on the sideline?
I guess being that tall, you got a pretty good vantage point for taking pictures. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I wish I was that tall, get some new angles, but yeah. All right, so you've got after
Erik
that Randy
Engle,
Johnson pick, you've got $11.
I have $11 left. Let's see here. Okay, so that's there. I think I have to. Let's see. How many players do I have?
You have 8.
I have 8 players.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but,
so I'm gonna go.
3 are pitchers. So you're lacking.
Pitchers aren't people.
How many position players? 1, 2, 3.
Pitchers aren't people. Pitchers aren't people.
You got 5 position players.
I have 5 position players. All right, this is going to be interesting. All right, let's see what I can do here. You know what? I think I'm going to have to go with because my dollar amount, I'm getting pinched right now. I think I'm going to have to go with Pudge.
Oh, Pudge over Piazza. You're gonna be a big spender here, not save the dollar.
I need the defense, and how good was Piazza defensively? I don't remember.
He was better than advertised, but come on, it's Pudge, man.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go Pudge. I wish I put
whether or not you think this, how juiced you think this guy was throughout his career or not, I don't care. Like this guy was an amazing backstop.
Piazza.
Pudge.
Oh, Pudge.
I think that. I mean,
Pudge juiced.
I think that that's pretty well speculated. I don't know that I don't think he ever got caught, but I think that that's a pretty pretty common speculation amongst Hall of Fame skeptics. I mean, you just look at his body throughout his career. The same argument that people want to use for Barry. You just look at Pudge Rodriguez through his career and look how that body changes, and tell me that he wasn't juicing.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna go Pudge. What's my dollar amount now?
After Pudge, you got $11. Was that? Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
No, after Pudge, so I'd have $7.
So you have $7, yeah.
Oh shit! All right, $7.
It's my pick now, though. I believe you just went Johnson Pudge, so now I get to pick.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, Walter trying to cheat in the draft.
I was trying to get another player. trying to get all the cheap guys before they're off the board. I'm running out of money.
I'm looking, and I need still need some position players. Missing a shortstop, and we got to look around at the shortstop left. I see Derek Jeter and I see Cal Ripken Jr. And I'm maybe I'm going to sound blasphemous, but Derek Jeter is just not. I mean, he's not doing it for me. Like he's the captain. I know he's got the Hall of Fame highlight reel and the Jeter throw that he like so patentedly like not created, but like just made it his play kind of thing. And but the 3,000 career hits, none of that is as impressive as the best ability in all of sports, which is availability. So I'm going Cal Ripken, and we are I think we're rolling, man. I mean, I love this pick. Cal Ripken. This is I did not think that he would be here this late, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, you know what? I think I messed up my draft. Leave a lot of good value out there left on this team. I'm looking. I think we have so available position player wise is Tony Gwynn, Derek Jeter, Jim Thome, David Ortiz, Piazza, Trout, and Chipper. That's all we got?
Yeah, that's all that's left for the position players, which is if you want to call Jim Thome and David Ortiz position players, it's a little bit of a stretch, but
yeah, I know. I gotta figure this out. All right, so how much money do I have left?
Walt's gonna have Big Poppy playing third base. I still need to make one more pick before we move back to yours. You have $7 left, however, and I don't have much more. I have 9. So we're gonna go back into the pitcher category though, because I need to round out some more of my pitching. And we're going to be searching for some value right here. And I don't think I'm going to get any better value than John Smoltz for $1. Yeah, are you kidding me? Solid. John Smoltz, like he doesn't get the shine that Greg Maddux did. I mean, Greg Maddux was an absolute magician. I'm missing him on my team right now, but I just don't have the salary for Greg Maddux. But John Smoltz was so good and so overshadowed by Greg Maddux in his career. But that Atlanta Braves starting staff in the 90s, just fearsome, absolutely fearsome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. No. So, you know what's funny is why are we holding ourselves? Look at me, because I'm short on money. Why are we holding ourselves to a salary cap here, Eric? It's baseball after
all. There's no salary cap.
Yeah, there's no salary cap.
It depends on your TV deal, Walt. How big's your TV contract right now?
Yeah. Well, I have a 65-inch TV downstairs still. Still trying to find a home for it. Were you on the podcast when I was trying to just raffle it off to yeah, dude. I was trying to raffle it off to the YouTube chat. Nobody was biting. All right, so I have $7 left, and I think I got to go cheap, and I'll go with Roy Halladay. I'll go with $1 with Roy Halladay. I think that he was a great pitcher in the postseason, so I'm gonna go with Roy Halladay on that one. Although his win totals were pretty low, right? Mean, he was did he hit 200? Was he at 203 or was he below 200? I was just looking at it earlier. His win total was pretty low. It was definitely lower than Greinke, because Greinke's at like 230. He did hit 200. 203. Okay, so 203. Zach Greinke's actually at like 236 or something like that.
It feels like Greinke has just pitched forever at this point.
No, yeah, I think he's pitched for like 19 years. He's been around for a while. All right, so that's 4 guys in my rotation, right? I got 4 guys.
1, 2, 3, 4. Correct. Yes. So
4 guys in my rotation, and I have $6 left, $7 left.
$6.
$6. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm gonna get Chipper. I'm gonna take Chipper Jones, and I'll play him at shortstop.
Okay, whatever. We'll take that.
Works.
We'll take that. And Chipper is $3. So now you got $3 left. Walt.
I got $3 left. All right, there's a road to the finish for me.
There's a road for you to field a team at least.
Yeah.
So
all right, go ahead.
I have 3 pitchers. Let's go ahead and round out some of this pitching staff because I mean you can't. Look at the Giants and how they're built and how they win, and I like the recipe. You know what I mean? Pitching, defense, timely hitting. I think there's enough hitting in here that someone's gonna run into one. And if my pitching and my defense are top tier, there's nothing that you're gonna be able to do about it. So I'm going to go CC Sabathia because this guy, there might not be, aside from Pedro Martinez, there might not be a single better big game pitcher on this board right now. CC, the Vallejo native, shout out in the town of Vallejo and Mac Dre, all the crest, all that, let's go. CC Sabathia.
All right, I like it. I like that one for sure. Okay, so where are our rosters currently? How many position players? How many pitchers? What are we looking at here? So
we are now dead even currently with players. You in total number of players. You have 4 pitchers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position players. I have the same thing. 6 position players and 4 pitchers. You have $3 left. I have 6. So I don't know actually if you're going to be able to field a team here. Walt, you might not be able to field a team here.
I don't think either of us are going to be able to field a team here.
We might get into some issues here. I think Tacky was saying he would buy into your team if it didn't suck so much. But I'm now going to make a pitch to my guy Tacky. I have a better team than Walt does. You can buy into this team if you would like to, Tacky. You can contribute $5. But I'm still going to make one last pick here to round out this pitching staff. And I think for my last pick,
wait, I thought you just went 2 guys.
No, just CC. My last pick
just CC
was John Smoltz.
Excuse me, my apologies.
I'm trying to cheat here and skip ahead in the draft, but
I'm getting sweaty. I don't know how I'm gonna finish this roster.
Well, we're gonna go back to pitchers because I need to finish my pitching staff. I mean, we could have a guy throwing on short rest, but we're not gonna do that this time. And instead, I'm looking more at the value pitchers still left. And I mean, I know King Felix is still out there, and I'm kind of hemming and hawing about it. But I mean, I think where I'm gonna have to go is the guy that we were just talking about, Zach Greinke. I mean, this guy, if he's my last starter, I mean, I am totally okay with that. Just an absolute bulldog in Zach Greinke. I hated the years that he was a Dodger and a Diamondback, but I mean, I'm glad that he's not giving the Giants the same hell that he used to.
I kind of want like Ricky to just punch him in the face. Like that's something that I want to have.
Very punchable face. Very punchable face.
Look at that face,
man.
Super
punchable face. Super punchable face.
Punchable face. Okay, so let's see here. I think my only options, if we're going to play by the rules of the dollar amount, thank God I upped it to 40. Remember, we were gonna do 35 at one point.
You upped it to 45.
I upped it to 45. Jesus, we need to contact the CBA. We need to. Actually, no, we don't have to up the we don't have to up the salary cap. There's no salary cap in baseball, so we're just gonna keep going. All right, so I'm gonna try to abide by the rules a little bit until we get to my final pick. I'm gonna have to go to King Felix. That's going to be my last pitcher, $1. That's all I'm willing to part with on that one. I feel like my rotation is top heavy, but then the back end is a little slim.
You got Pedro Verlander and Johnson, and Roy Halladay is a sneaky good pick, I think. And then Felix Hernandez is probably the only non-Hall of Famer on this board. But again, if he had the playoff appearances, because he would have had the success if he had the appearances.
I
He would have been
literally
a first ballot.
only put him on here because he was on the ballot. That's
Yeah.
the only reason why he was on there, and
Yeah.
he's still on the ballot. He got enough votes to remain on the ballot. So we'll have to see if he ever gets in. I think he got like 20. Did he get 20%, or was it less than that? I don't remember. I don't remember what it was. And then now with my $2, right?
Yep.
I got $2 left.
Yep.
I'm
There's
gonna
only
put
one more $2 player.
I'm sure Mike Trout has played second base at one point in his baseball career, whether it be not in the major leagues, but college. Maybe he played little league. Maybe t-ball. Maybe he played second base at that point. But he's gonna play second base for my team, Mike Trout, number 2. That's gonna be my final pick apparently.
So you are missing. You have a second baseman, a first baseman, a third baseman, a shortstop, a left, a right. You have one.
I need a first baseman.
No, you had Shohei at first base. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, then what do I need?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What am I? Where am I missing here?
The DH, the DH spot.
DH. There we go.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do to combat that. We're playing National League rules back before the universal DH. So now I'm fine. Now I'm set.
So I am now feeling very good about my team with Bob Gibson also being able to hit. So that we're feeling great about.
All right, take that back. Take that back. It's not gonna happen.
So,
dude,
I got one more pick, and because I've saved my money, I got 5 whole doll hairs left. And the only thing I'm missing is a second baseman. So let me tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take
Big Poppy, put him at second base.
No, well, we also got to figure out. We're not playing DH. So what I'm going to do, actually, this might kind of surprise you. I'm going to go. You already took Pudge, but I'm going to take no, because I was thinking about taking Mike Piazza, and then because Buster Posey.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna move Buster to the
end, where he played every single position in one game. I'm thinking maybe Mike Piazza at catcher, moving Buster to second base because that he can play that second base. But I think even a better option than that, I'm going to let Ichiro play second base. Go back to what I said at the beginning of this. Let Ichiro play any position. He's my ultimate utility guy. He can play anywhere on the field. I'm convinced you don't need to show me proof. I already know Ichiro can play second base. Don't need to see it. I'm going Tony Gwynn. We're going Tony Gwynn in the outfield. And now my team is complete. I got 2 of the greatest hitters of all time. Walter's team is now decimated, and I have won the World Series. Walter is the equivalent of the Florida Marlins GM from whoever it was this last year, who ended up with a payroll of less than $15 million of active players by the end of the season.
Wow, you're just dragging me under the rug, huh? Jesus Christ! All right. So go ahead and read off our lineups. I believe that the consensus will. I think I know who won, but we'll open it up to the YouTube chat since they're chiming in and they're following along this draft. Let us know who was on my team, who was on your team. What do you got for us?
So we'll start with Walt's team because Walt drafted first. I also want to point out that I could have had some money remaining at the end of this, and Walt didn't, and my team is still substantially better. So Walt went with the heart in his draft. He went with his guy Roberto Clemente over Willie Mays. I want to remind everybody of that. So Roberto Clemente, Pedro Martinez, Hank Aaron, Ricky Henderson, Justin Verlander, Adrian Beltre, Shohei Ohtani, Randy Johnson, Pudge Rodriguez, Roy Halladay, Chipper Jones, Felix Hernandez, and Mike Trout. And mind you, this defensive lineup, a little skeptical. Walt's going with Chipper at shortstop and with the much possibly more athletic Mike Trout at second base. This is maybe a little bit of a question mark here, but at least Chipper was an infielder in his career. So there is that. But other than that, this is a solid team. But then we look over at Triple E's team. We got Willie Mays, Bob Gibson, Ken Griffey Jr., Albert Pujols, Sandy Koufax, Miguel Cabrera, Ichiro Suzuki, Buster Posey, Cal Ripken, John Smoltz, C.C. Sabathia, Zach Greinke, and Tony Gwynn as our last pick. Wow. I mean, I'm looking at my order, and I don't know how any of these guys are not going to get on base. Also, I have so much more defensive flexibility, as Tacky reminded us in the chat. Willie Mays, another ultimate utility guy. Buster Posey, ultimate utility guy. I have so many defensive combinations that I can go with. I mean, it's done. We don't even. You're not. I mean, we can just wrap this up right now. Are you winning? Is your team winning a single game against my team in a best of 7 series? Is what I want to know.
I'm convinced that you cheated somehow. I don't know how you got that roster together. You know what? I went with my heart to start this thing, and as soon as I did, and you heard me say it, I said, you know what? I think I screwed up. I love Roberto Clemente, but I don't think I should have paid $6 for it. I think that screwed me up. That screwed me up from the beginning. But Roberto and Ricky, that's pretty solid, man. What's up?
I knew what your strategy would be, so I let you do it, and I just worked around it. And you were just too predictable, Walt. You're like the Oakland Raiders in the NFL draft. Like, everybody knows you're gonna screw the pickup, so we're just gonna let you do it, and I'm gonna take whoever the best player is after you. You pick with the heart, Al Davis. You go get that big arm in Jamarcus Russell. You go get Darius Hayward-Bay, the fastest receiver in the draft. And you just live in your little fantasy land that it's going to work out. But, we're going to live in reality over here with the real fake, passion for the pastime, Hall of Fame roster, World Series champion.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, you're going to the Hall of Fame there. EB checking in. Walter secured the first-round pick for next year. Tacky calling me Walt anxiety. Yeah, dude. So I think the peanut gallery has spoken, and they are going with you. They're going with your team. Let's see. Farhan likes Walter's picks. my picks or my picks. Farhan's looking at my pictures. What?
Whoa.
What? Hey, what pictures are we talking about? All right, Tacky checking in. I hate when people no show to fantasy drafts. All right, that's cute.
Tacky, you should have seen Walter's fantasy basketball team last year, man. It was atrocious bad.
Oh man, yeah, Triple E for the win. Yeah, you're the champion here. Tacky, wait, so is this Triple E's podcast now? Yeah, dude, you just take it. You just take it from me.
That was I won the Passion for the Pastime podcast.
Yeah, you won Passion for the Pastime podcast. Go ahead and bask in the glory of what that means. What was at stake? You know what? We didn't really put anything at stake.
I feel like it should be. I feel like I have something for this. I think of Around the Horn, one of the greatest daytime shows, and I should get my 30 seconds or whatever. My 60 seconds at the end where I get to get on my soapbox and make the case for whatever it is I want to talk about for this.
All right, well, go ahead. What is it that you want to talk about? Make awareness for. Hold on, let me remove myself from. So it's just you. It's just you. I'm going to remove.
True around the horn fashion.
Yeah, true around the horn fashion. I'm going to remove myself. I wish I could put an X or block out my screen.
Freeze them and make it all gray.
Yeah. Bye everybody.
So today, we won this fantastic fake championship here on the Passion for the Pastime, and we did it with the help of Buster Posey on the roster. And I just want to say, I saw in the chat from someone, I don't remember who it was, saying that Buster Posey is not a Hall of Famer, man. I implore people to think with their brains and look outside of a box score, because Buster Posey's greatest attributes, we talked about this, was not any measurable thing, but it was what you saw with your eyeballs when he was out there commanding a staff, the number of a perfect game under his belt, no hitters, all these different things, World Series champion, MVP, Rookie of the Year. This guy should be and will be in the Hall of Fame. The only other player that could hold a candle to Buster Posey in his career in that same timeline is Yadier Molina, and that guy should be first ballot when he's eligible. Buster Posey, Hall of Fame player, and hopefully going to lead the Giants back to something relevant. There we go.
I was just gonna leave you there and just let you just sit there. Oh man, everybody was they loved that. They're like, I didn't know Walter could do that. Tacky chiming in. It was Tacky that mentioned the Buster Posey aspect of that, but yeah, AJ Cruz checking in. Did Walter get dropped from his own pod? Essentially, I did. Yeah, thank you for welcoming me back, Otis Bird. But that was Erik Engle. He got on his soapbox. We'll have to do this again, man. We'll have to do different variations and maybe spend like a whole show on it, because obviously I have taken you away.
Hollywood.
Yeah, I've taken you away from the start of the Warrior game. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. But dude, I appreciate you always stopping by, always talking ball. That was a fun exercise, and I look forward to doing that. And I'll probably do that with the chat too. I mean, that was pretty interactive. We'll have some guys, because we do have a phone line on here, Eric. I don't know if you've been watching.
God,
yeah,
no
we have
way.
a phone line on here. Yeah, we have a phone line. It's 925. Hold on, let me see if I can remember it. 925 3. Damn, what is it? 3. I forgot what it was. It's that's what it was. 925 Babe Ruth, year I was born, Melky Cabrera, Pablo Sandoval. That's what it was.
My God.
So 925 392 51 or 5, was it? Melky Cabrera 5348. Yeah. Bam. That's how I remember it.
Everyone write that down.
Everyone write that down. Yeah, dude. All right. Well, everybody, thank you all for stopping by. More Tacky checking in. More Triple E, less Derek.
I
yeah.
love DP. I love my guy Derek Papa. I love Derek.
one day we got to do a full ass round table. We got to have me, you, Derek, Danny, just a reunion here on Passion for the Pastime. We'll do that for sure.
Very on board for that.
But everybody, thank you all for stopping by Passion for the Pastime. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun for me, even though I got my ass kicked in that fantasy draft for the Hall of Fame. A lot of fun to reconnect with Eric. Hope you guys had a good time too. Tacky, you didn't let me know what you had for dinner. Let me know what you had before we get out of here. But everybody, thank you all for stopping by Passion for the Pastime. It was a fun time. Eric, always a fun time, fun conversation with you. So we'll continue to do that from time to time. Let's see here. Walter qualified for Major League Baseball financial. You guys just kill me, man. You guys just kill me. Walter, you gonna go to FanFest San Jose this Saturday? I will most likely be out there. Let Rockin' New Era know that I'll be out there. I'm gonna try to get out there. I'm just trying to put together things to make sure that I can, but the plan is that I'm going to be out there. I'll let you guys know. I'll hit you up, AJ. There's Rockin' New Era. Look at this guy. Look at this guy coming in at the last second, thinking he's going to be welcomed with open arms. Yeah. What's up, Rockin'? All right, guys. Well, I will let you guys. I'll let you guys go. I'm gonna get on out of here. Eric, I know you got to roll. So you guys have a good one. I will talk to you next week. Not going to do a show tomorrow, but I will most likely be out at San Jose. Follow me on Twitter at Walleezy, WALLEEZZY. I'll let you guys know if I'm heading out to San Jose. Just shoot me a DM. We'll connect. We'll get a beer. But I'll most likely be out there. It's kind of like 75% heading in that direction, but I'll let you guys know. Eric, you going? You going to head out there? Or you going to go break some more bones?
Well, no, the bone breaking is actually tomorrow when I go up to snowboard tomorrow, and then also again on Sunday, and then to Colorado next weekend for more snowboarding with my sprained AC joint. This is going to be a really smart decision. But no, Saturday I get to be quadruple E, because you get to add another E to the triple E for engineer, as I'm going to be engineering Stanford basketball against Florida State. Stanford hoops, man. Actually pretty fun this year. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. Maxime Reynaud is the real deal, legitimate 7-footer, and Joe Lacob seems to be very intrigued by him.
A quadruple E, and Rockin' checking in. Or Tacky checking in. If Rockin' New Era goes, Walter will flake. That's highly likely. And then let's see. At least I showed up. I'm gonna end it on there. You guys have a good one, Rockin'. I'll see you next time, bro. Be here at the start, bro. Don't come in at the end. Be here at the start. I know it means something as long as you showed up. But you guys have a good one. Be safe. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy championship weekend. I didn't even talk to you about football, dude. We'll have to do that another time. But we'll resume activities on Monday, 6:00. See you guys then. Eric, appreciate you stopping by, and remember to always check out his stuff on Locked On Podcast Network. The postcast, right? The postcast tonight.
Locked On Warriors, Locked On Giants, Locked On Niners, but tonight's Locked On Warriors.
Following final bell or final whistle, final horn. I don't know what the hell they call it in basketball. Final buzzer. There it is. Final buzzer. Check out Eric on the Locked On Postcast for the Warriors and Bulls. So you guys have a good one. I'll see you next week, and I'll talk to you then.